Hi, I'm Sophie Stardrop, and welcome back to a new video. I hope you are feeling cozy today, and if you're ready for a story, I'm going to leave a couple of trigger warnings at the beginning of the video, so watch the screen for a moment, you actually to know the warnings for this story in particular. Thank you. This is something that has been going on in my head for a while now, and I think enough time has passed for to actually talk of this subject. It's still going to be a little bit difficult, but I'm gonna try. So a couple of months ago, I believe, a couple of people came and claimed that I owe them money, specifically 500 euros. Now, they did a lot of claims about me. I'm not going to say the names, and please don't look it up. I don't want to give these people any kind of recognition, and I have reasons to not give them, and I'll talk about. But some of the main claims is that I supposedly took a computer that I never paid, and it was 500 euros in fees. That was one of the main things. Now, this claim was false, and knowing that it was false, it was as simple as looking up the actual monetary system we deal in country. So these people claimed that, I'm Chilean, they had a company based in Chile, and that we supposedly had a contract that meant that I owe them money. However, it's very important to know that Chileans don't use euros as a monetary system. We don't. We use Chilean pesos. And 500 euros are not 500 pesos. They're not even close to the closest it could be, which is 500,000 pesos, because 1,000 pesos is about $1, but it's not exactly the same, and you simply cannot claim that one divisa is the same as another divisa, because that's just not how it works. That's not how business works. Now, I do not know if people in Chile can actually have contracts on a different divisa and have them be legal. And the fact that I don't know should already be proof enough that such contract over euros never existed. I don't know if having a contract in Chile with an euro monetary system is even legal. I have no idea if that's a thing that can happen. So yeah, I don't even think that's legal. Like, why would you use a money that is a money type that is not used in the country that you're making the transaction in? Legally speaking, it doesn't really make sense. It would make sense if the people were from two different countries living in two different countries. However, that was not the case, and even in said case, when it comes to Latinos, I am Latina, we often use USDs or American dollars for those kind of transactions between countries, mostly because most things relating to Latino economy have a lot more to do with the US dollar, the American dollar, than any other kind of money. This is because a lot of the things that we own are actually things that come from America, or from the United States more specifically, and therefore a lot of businesses are often related to the United States, and as such, dollars are a lot more important than any other kind of currency. Now, a lot of people may be asking, but hey Sophie, you have your coffee set up in euros. What is this? Why is this? This is actually because of some political stuff. You see, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, started to do a lot of stuff politically that made the US dollar go a lot lower. Like, it really had a devaluation, a considerable devaluation. Therefore, keeping the tiers in coffee to be dollars would actually be losing money in my own currency. I actually, as a Latina, I'm very used to having to change the visas all the time, mostly because most Latinos don't use the same kind of the visa. For example, someone from Colombia would use Colombian pesos. Someone from Argentina would use Argentinian pesos. I use Chilean pesos because it's Chile. And I do believe that other countries have something else that are not pesos. I don't really know their names, but I know that every country has something. And euros in particular is specifically an European kind of currency. Therefore, no Latino country actually uses euros. It's exclusively an European thing. However, because Donald Trump started to do a lot of things that made the dollar devaluate, it was more convenient to simply change coffee to a somewhat more stable kind of currency at the time, which are euros. It was the closest I could find. I could have put it on Chilean pesos, however, because a lot of Americans don't understand the whole divisa thing, I don't blame them, a lot of them have never been needed to change their divisa. It would be kind of weird to see that a tier is cost like 5,000 Chilean pesos, and people may think, oh, that's $5,000, why is that so expensive? No, that actually is like $5, actually. That's kind of how it works, not exactly. I believe 5,000 pesos should be about $5.50, maybe $6 even. It honestly depends, and you really need to look up at the economy. That's exactly why contracts and overall, you simply don't want to make any kind of sell using a currency that is not the one from the country. It just doesn't make sense from the inside of the country. And even if you would, it's more likely you would use USD dollars, not euros. On top of that, me and my husband don't actually manage our money in euros. We use kind of like a virtual wallet to manage all of those things. It kind of does the change of the visa automatically. I don't want to say the name, it's not a sponsorship. But we do use that, and it's a lot easier to manage different divisas at the same time. So yeah, currently, like, the divisa that we mostly use is the money from the United Kingdom. I don't remember the name, but that's usually how we manage our own stuff, which in Chilean pesos is about 1,000. No, it's a little more. I believe euros are about like 1,300 Chilean pesos. And this other, like, United Kingdom dollar, I believe, or we call it the libra sterlina, but I'm not exactly sure of the English name. It's about like 3,000 pesos. Technically, it doesn't really change much outside of how we see the number, but it's just what we're more used to nowadays. I know this maybe sound complicated. As a Latina, I'm more so used to the visa changes and stuff. But I hope that I explained myself enough to my American friends. Now, if it's so weird and inconvenient to use a visa that is not from the country to make a money transaction, then why would anyone do that? The answer is simple. Said transaction in euros never happened, and these people just lied about it. My current theory, well, I have two theories. I'm going to say the first one. As to why they lied about 500 euros specifically is because on coffee, I have my coffee set up in euros. Therefore, it's very likely they wanted to steal a lot of my money from, or at least my donators, from coffee as just a way to get money themselves. Those people always just cared about money. This is what I wanted to talk about when I said that I don't want people to look up who these people are. I know by the fact that they try to make me react to everything they were saying. They were constantly poking me, they were constantly trying to say the most awful shit about me. Stuff that is not even true. Just to put an example, these people spoke Spanish, but they changed their claim in their respective language. So in English, they claimed that I owe them money for a laptop, which is the current laptop that I'm using. However, in Spanish, they claimed it was a desktop computer and a set of VR goggles. Now, these claims are completely different. A laptop is not the same as a desktop computer. And my only real guess as to why they changed the claim is because Latin America and Americans have very different life costs. So for an American, 500 euros, which are about $600, I believe, would be a reasonable amount of money for a computer that is not that good but not so bad as like a laptop. However, for a Latino, depending on the country, 500 euros for a computer, for like a laptop that is not even like that good, is actually a considerable amount, so much that it's not even believable depending on the country you're from. Therefore, a desktop computer, which is a lot more expensive in said countries, and a set of VR goggles sounds a lot more reasonable than just a laptop computer. This, again, depends on the country you're living in, but for a lot of Latinos, that sounds a lot more reasonable than the claim they made in English. They even made different claims saying that, for example, that I was like obsessed with them, having like a crush on them or something. They even said that I was so mentally unstable that I was like schizophrenic or something, and that because of all that stuff I could not be believed, pretty much saying that because I am mentally unstable, even disabled, I should not be believed. That is the most ableist shit ever, but you know, some people just genuinely believe that because a woman is unstable, she should not be believed. Sadly, that's just how the world is sometimes. Essentially, they just made a lot of stuff to try to poke me and get a reaction out of me, and I think I know why. They do own a company, and that company has been essentially on the floor. Nobody wants to be with them due to several accusations towards the business owners, let's say. Those accusations include allegations of minor kidnapping, essentially a girl, one of the victims of another case, claimed that one of the people in charge of the company helped her abuser abduct her when she was a minor. Another one of the bosses has allegations of helping a very old man, a 30-year-old man, have sexual intercourse with a minor. I believe that between 10 to 13 years old, I don't remember properly. And not only that, but to my understanding, he has also confirmed that this was real and that he really regretted it. So it's kind of no longer an allegation, but an actual reality that he did help an adult abuse a minor. Another person that was not kind of a leader but someone involved has actively doxed the house of minors and put minors in danger. And if that wasn't enough, the person in particular who claimed that I owed to him in particular has a little bit of like a funny history. Another thing that they claim is that my husband, who is an immigrant to my country, is an illegal immigrant. However, this accusation came from someone who has a very interesting background that I didn't know at the time. So, this person did not come from Chile. He's not technically Chilean, but he's been living in the country for several years. Due to several lawsuits and police reports going around, I do know his full name, and out of curiosity, I searched his full name on his original country. I'm not going to say which country, but I searched his name in the legal system of his country, and I learned that he was being searched for accusations of scam and money abuse. Like, I don't know how to say it, but I knew that he was involved in a different controversy a couple of years prior. No one really had any kind of information about it, even when I tried to look it up. But it was allegedly that some kind of event happened where there was a lot of money involved. I'm not going to say the exact amount, but a lot of money. And he was accused of scamming a large amount of people. The same people who claimed that I owed him money, he was accused of scamming a large amount of people. So because the law is very slow to do stuff, when they were actually searching him to give the notification that, hey, you've been called to justice to give declarations about this, he ran away of the country. So he actively got out of the country before the justice system could catch to him. Technically, he's not a fugitive because he has not been technically condemned of anything yet. However, he is currently being searched by the laws of his country. The only reason why they didn't search hard enough because it's technically just an accusation and not like a trial thing. He ran away to Chile, married a Chilean woman, and based on what we found, because I also found this with PC, he may be an irregular person in the country. This means that he did not renew his stance on the country, technically making him an illegal immigrant. So having him accuse PC of being an illegal immigrant while he has a lot of stuff in the background is kind of not very good. You know, it kind of sounds like projection, if anything. This person also has a lot of other allegations on the back, and overall, they're just very bad people. They had a business that is dying in the original language. However, I started to suspect very early on that they were trying to cancel me as a way to promote their business in an English language, because Americans, sadly, for better or for worse, have way more money than any Latino would. Therefore, the cancellation is not because of me technically, but they wanted to use me as a bridge in order to get money and abuse more people. Now, again, I need to remind everyone that everyone who is involved in this project, in this company, in this thing, has had problems with minors, especially in abusing minors. I know by a fact that one of the people has been having a relationship with a minor where he asked of sexual stuff nature to the minor, and that very same person was also accused of helping a predator abduct a minor physically, essentially grooming. Now, obviously, I cannot confirm these allegations. That's why, well, they are allegations. But the large amount of things that they have just made me worried that if I ever actually spoke up about the reality of things, I would be giving them attention and therefore making their businesses grow and therefore putting minors at danger. I knew that they were targeting specifically minors inside of my hate audience, let's say. Inside of the aunties, they were specifically going after minors to talk bad about me. And I was afraid that if I talked about it, they would go after my followers, who a couple of them are minors. On top of that, I know that they also search for adults who sound like minors. Specifically adults who are very young, between the ages of 18 and 20, who have a soft kind of personality, or people who are near 18, to try to groom them into this kind of company thing. So I wanted to try to avoid that. I also knew that these people were in contact with someone who I don't really appreciate. I can tell just by language alone. People may call me paranoid, but once you've been through enough, you kind of start to analyze the language of people, both in real life and even text. I realized that both those people and someone else were together doing stuff. I can't really explain it, and I really don't want to be specific, but I knew they were working together several months ago. In fact, I knew they've been together since December, essentially when the game project started. I knew they immediately got into contact because the blogs he wrote, they were different, the language was different. Once I exploded, around May, the language suddenly went back to normal. I saw that those people who claimed that I owed them money decided to claim that this person that I exploded about was some kind of giga chad, that he was so cool. Now, these people are narcissists, and I know by a fact that they only praise people they have worked with. So they only praise people of their own team. They don't praise a fight that is happening between their current victim and someone they don't know. If anything, they'll just laugh about it. But they don't actively praise someone unless they are directly in connection or working with one another. This is also a way they have to tell victims, yes, I was behind this, what you gonna do about it? This is kind of a modus operandi they have. So if anything, that just worked as a confirmation that I was not insane and what I was feeling was real. I was getting targeted by both parties, and I know by a fact that even my volunteers also felt targeted. Nowadays, a lot of them still feel targeted, but at least I was happy, because even if I was cancelled for some time, there was a lot of drama about me. I was happy because even if people hate me, even if people claim that I'm stupid, or people claim that I'm egocentric or anything, I managed to get a potential danger to kids away from someone who has some kind of power. I just wanted to keep those two separated, because I know the damage those people can do. If they want to hate on me, they want to say that I'm stupid, that I'm paranoid, that I'm just searching attention, that I'm a liar, whatever. If they want to compare me with my groomer, then go ahead. But I just wanted to keep my own team and the people who follow me safe. I wanted to keep them safe. That was what was in front of my mind the entire time, because I was already being harassed from way back in December. That includes January, February, March, April, and May. which is when I finally exploded. About 5 to 6 months of harassment, half a year, and I could deal with it, but I knew they started to target the younger ones, and I just couldn't stand by that. They wanted a reaction, I gave them a reaction, and they seemed to calm down like babies having a tantrum. It is something I've been thinking about lately, about everything that had happened around that time. I can't say I regret things. Maybe if I worded them a little bit different, more people would have been on my side. But then again, most people never even knew about these kinds of things. So, sometimes as a leader, you have to do what you have to do to keep your people safe, even if that kills you on the inside. And for what it's worth, they left my people alone. That's all I really wanted. Even if it ate my mental health, and even if I know no one will understand me. I wish I could say that enough time has passed, but I know they're currently stalking me. That's why I don't want to say their names. I don't want people to look them up. Because any kind of attention to those people is enough. It's just enough to start crying again and throwing tantrums like babies. I know by the fact that a lot of them were talking to my volunteers in private. It wasn't just one voice actors. It was many. I know that I can't keep them safe of everything, but if I can keep them safe from this one thing, from these fucking monsters, then I'm going to do it. Doesn't matter how much it takes. One thing is having someone very evil be constantly in the lookout for you. Another thing is having many people evil, many people who hurt you. But something completely different is having said people target completely people that are just not related just because they want to hurt you. I know they've already attempted to go after my family in the past. They are dangerous. I tried to put a police report against them. I really did. But this fucking country does not care about helping people who don't have money. They do not care. If there's not someone constantly pressuring them to do something in the legal system, no one will do something. I have a police report due to a physical attack there in the police system for several months and nothing has happened. And I'm simply just not strong enough to keep pushing into the legal system. I can't. I'm just not that strong enough. Let alone now that I'm going to be a mom. To some extent, I kind of didn't even want it to say that I was a mom, because I know that those people are evil enough to try and cause a miscarriage just because they hate me. Just if they cannot get a reaction out of me that will grant them money, because that's just how it works. There is another thing, another theory on top of what I just said, because 500 euros is a very specific amount of money. Now, these people have been harassing me for several years now, and this accusation is not exactly new. However, this accusation started at the very same time that another thing happened, and 500 euros is a very specific money amount. You know what actually happened? You know where those 500 euros actually come from? The same person who claimed that I owed him money was in a controversy about multiple women claiming that he owed them large amounts of money, way more than 500. We're talking about thousands, even 5-digit numbers. This person, as a way to prove that he didn't owe money to anyone and he was so much better than the stupid women who were accusing him, he bought a skin inside of a video game. The most expensive skin that video game had ever produced. That skin cost inside of the video game was 500 euros. Depending on the zone you were having. If you bought it in an account that was localized in Europe, it would be about 500 euros. And in fact, it is specifically 500 euros. After he did that, after he bought that, he started making accusations that I owe him money. It's very likely he wants me to pay for that skin just because he thinks it's humiliating in some way. That is my current theory. And it would be in line. It would fit with what kind of people they are. So, yeah. There's many things I kept inside. They were harassing my friends for several months before I even broke completely. They were mentioning names, the names they would call me through that other person. There's one specific post that I never talked about, which included the name they called me for, something that I want nothing but to forget about. It's not easy for me to talk about these subjects, mostly because the memory alone is already enough to just want me to curl up and cry. The attacks, we've been already attacked physically. It was too much. And I cannot bear the idea that just because
these monsters have been following me for years. Just because of that, other people that I care about now have to be influenced by it. They should not have to deal with them. So, if they wanted to humiliate me, if they wanted to do anything to me, then just do it. If that's going to keep you away from harming those I care for. Even my haters. I care about haters because I fucking hate groomers. I hate people who target children just because they're easy. If the only way I have to keep them safe is to just accept the L and accept everything people throw at me, then I guess that's a fair price. Well, it's not fair, but in reality, none of this really is. Sadly, I wish I could say this story has a happy ending, but even nowadays, I'm still being harassed because of what happened. And I know people will ask for evidence, I know people will ask for stuff, but I genuinely don't even want to say the name of these people. They don't deserve such recognition. As such, I just wanted to do this as a way to vent. I just want to get it out of my system. I know at the large scheme of things, this won't matter, as none of these things really matter. My voice rarely matters, which is how I always find weird how haters think so passionately about me. I don't think I'm important nor relevant, so I cannot understand why people feel so, I guess, angry? I don't know. I don't consider myself someone important, so I don't understand why people get so upset. I don't think anything I say is truly important. I don't think anything I do really matters in the long run. I'm just one person in the billions of people in the world. Why would I matter out of all of them? That's why I often just don't understand it. I don't understand the love I receive. I don't understand the hate I receive. It's weird, but I try to appreciate the love and try to ignore the hate. It doesn't matter my background or what I actually feel. As long as people I care for are safe, I think that'll be enough. I'm sorry for the negative video, but I just really needed to get it off my chest. Thank you for watching, and maybe tomorrow I'll have something more positive to say, just not today. Bye bye.